Everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only Christopher Atkins.
Uh,
Did you just reach forward because it said record, approve, or whatever, and you had to hit a
yeah,
button?
you had to say got it. Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure you could actually see me.
Oh no, I got you. Oh, I see all of you.
What is going on? We were just talking. I know you're in Connecticut, where I'm originally from. How are you today?
Me, I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day here today. Cold, but it's a beautiful day.
Well, let me tell you, it's freezing in LA as well. So there you
Is it
go.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's been raining for about 2.5 weeks straight, nonstop here, and it's
yeah. Well,
cold.
that's good. You guys use a lot of water out there, so it's good. You know, the only thing that we haven't had is we haven't had any good snow. I'm not a fan of this cold, wet. When it's cold and rainy, like it gets in your bones. It's just, but when it's snow, it's beautiful. It's white. It's quiet. It's soft. It's pretty. It's just so much different.
I agree. I always say if it's going to be cold, just let it snow, right?
I know. I know. Well, we haven't had it yet.
Well, listen, like when I sat down and I knew I was going to talk with you, I mean, I understand the consciousness of the fact that Blue Lagoon was in 1980, but then when I really start to think about it, I'm like, oh my God, 43 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
does that feel like 43 years to you, or does it just feel like 2 days ago?
Well, that's a very good question, and I guess the real answer to that is that sometimes I literally, because I just live my life, that it seems like, was that real? Was that a dream? Did it really happen? Did it not really happen? But of course it did, and it was interesting because I did an interview with Brooke not long ago, and we it was all about Blue Lagoon and bringing back all of those memories. It was the thing about Blue Lagoon that was different than any other movie I ever did was Blue Lagoon was a life experience. Every other movie was making a movie, but this was literally a life experience. It was more than just making a movie. And I think for everybody that was involved in that movie.
How was it a life experience?
Well, first of all, we shot on a deserted island, and I was there for 4.5 months. There was nothing. There was nothing. The crew actually found water on the island. So the guy who owned the island, I mean, the movie really did a lot for this guy. I mean, it put him on the map. You can go there now. So it's Turtle Island in Fiji, and you can go there now, and it's a 5-star resort there. But he really capitalized on it. But it was literally living in a tent. It was camping out. No movie's ever been made like that, and no movie will probably ever be made like that. But that's how we filmed this movie. So every day was living with the Fijians, the neighboring islands, and the natives there that would come over and work on the crew. And they were warring villages, and they came together to work on this movie. And they taught us things like how to weave palm leaves and how to climb coconut trees, how to open a coconut with a stick, and all kinds spearing fish, all kinds of really amazing. I mean, if you're an outdoor enthusiast, that kind of a thing, it was really magical. But it, it, being 18 years old, being taken away out of New York, where I was born and raised in Rye, New York, and sent to a deserted island in Fiji when I had no idea how to act. I had no idea what was going on. I just said, okay, yeah, I'll do this. And then running around naked, that's a whole nother story in itself, and how that all came to be and what this movie was all about. It was a huge life experience. I mean, it was just a major life experience. And the thing about it is I think because of the way it was shot, the Australians, it was all Australian crew, and it was a very young industry at the time. I think Blue Lagoon was the first big major film that an Australian crew came together to work on, and they were beyond amazing. I mean, beyond amazing. But they were young, they were fun, and everybody, because we lived together on this island, no distractions, no nothing, we all became this family unit. um and it was just really magical.
Was it true? I mean, like, I know you had no acting experience at that time. Like, you didn't even want to be an actor. Like, this just kind of came to you.
Yeah, I was one of 4,000 kids who auditioned for the movie. And I just thought, oh, this will be kind of fun. I'll audition for this movie. And then I can tell all my friends when it comes out, oh, yeah, I read those lines. I auditioned for that movie. Yeah, how cool is it to see it on the screen now? I never thought in a million years that I would be cast for the picture. And as a matter of fact, I actually said no because I didn't know what, I wanted to play baseball. I was playing softball for the Ford Modeling Agency, and I had to catch a train and get in, and I don't want to miss the game, man. And so I was like, oh, I'll talk to you guys later when they were calling me up saying I had the part. But I had a long conversation with my mom about it because I was about to go off to college and the whole thing, and I because it was Randall Kleiser who was directing it, who directed the movie Grease. He had a reputation. He was a good director, and even then, I didn't know anything. I don't know what a script is. I don't know a good director from a bad director. Hey, that was a good movie, Grease, but I don't know. So I had to really rely on other people who were in the industry to talk about it, and we just finally said, well, what a fun experience. You don't ever have to do it again if you don't want to. And that was probably the best advice a mom could ever give you.
Did
Except
you,
for
well, except for what?
it changed my whole life. So I'm
Well, that
stuck.
that was my next question. Like, did you, once you said yes, like, did you feel like this could truly change my life, or was it like, cool, I'm gonna go shoot a movie?
Oh, it was totally cool. I'm going to shoot a movie. That was it. I just had, I see. I'm one of these people that always says he with the most stories wins, because if you've got stories, you've had adventure, and if you've had adventure, you've lived the life, right? Not the toys, it's the stories, because then you've been part of it. So this to me was it was a cool story. I could tell everybody, yeah, I went and made a movie. I just never knew it was going to be on a deserted island naked.
Naked and running around. And, were you, because you were like, you almost had to live under a rock at that time. I mean, like Brooke Shields was coming off like Pretty Baby and like Wanda Nevada. Like, were you nervous? Like, were you aware, like, okay, like you have no experience, you don't even know if you're going to say yes, and you're acting opposite someone who had like a pretty, great career at that point?
I think the best thing that ever happened to me was not having any experience whatsoever, because I didn't care. I get more nervous now about being on a set and stepping into an acting role than I ever did shooting that movie. And I think that was probably the best thing, because I got to learn as I went along. I didn't care. I didn't know. I was just doing what I thought. They told me go here, walk over here, do this, do that. Okay, yeah, and say these lines. All right, fine. Not a problem. But now it's even worse. So no, then it was more of the adventure.
What, like, do you remember like meeting Brooke Shields for the first time? Like, what was your first impressions?
Well, it was very interesting because I never